The Department of Defense is taking steps to stamp out extremism among the military's ranks.
And tonight, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has now ordered a service-wide stand-down for what he says are, quote, needed discussions on extremism within the U.S. military.
The new Secretary of Defense, General Lloyd Austin, taking some strong action to tackle extremism in the ranks of the military.
Both Johnson and McNabb say that militia have successfully recruited police and active military personnel.
We have a lot of returning veterans, military members who have fought in the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and they bring that mentality with them, that training that they had in the military.
In addition to the 3% militia, there's the Oath Keepers, formed in 2009. They're primarily current and former law enforcement and military personnel.
There is a recruitment effort aimed at not only those that are still on the bases, but also those that are coming out of their time of serving and duty.
Pentagon officials were alarmed that nearly 20 veterans were among those arrested after the siege on the Capitol.
Our goal at Mission and Transition is not to broad stroke all service members, veterans, or their families as violent extremists, but rather provide awareness of the threats posed to transitioning service members after they take off the uniform for good. As highlighted in the previous clips, violent extremism among veterans and across the military is a real problem and has real consequences. Also discussed in these clips, veterans are specifically being recruited and targeted by these violent extremist groups based upon their skills, experience, and training. Mission and Transition serves as the first barrier of protection against veteran recruitment into targeted violence and terrorism groups by helping transitioning veterans find a sense of purpose. Each year, approximately 150,000 new recruits pass through various forms of boot camp or officer candidate school programs after enlisting or commissioning into the armed services. These individuals are physically, mentally, and emotionally screened in order to ensure these recruits can effectively serve. Yet every year, approximately 200,000 service members take the uniform off and transition to the civilian world. Our initiative, Mission and Transition, seeks to aid service members in their transition by providing resources not offered through the Department of Veteran Affairs or through the transition assistance process. Mission and Transition was born out of a sincere sense of service and dedication to assisting transitioning veterans. Comprised of 3 current veterans, 1 active duty service member, 2 prospective OCS candidates, and various immediate family connections to the military, we at Mission and Transition are uniquely positioned to deal with an issue that we are all intimately familiar with. Through this powerful connection, Mission and Transition was created to address 2 major issues affecting our veteran community: the impacts of isolationism and the inadequate resources for transitioning from active duty to civilian life for veterans. Focusing on current, transitioning, and soon-to-be transitioning post 9/11 veterans aged 20 to 35 years of age in South Carolina, Mission and Transition has been able to directly engage with and connect with our target audience through a detailed implementation plan. Through a 3-pronged approach consisting of providing awareness to veteran organizations and events across South Carolina, creating a professional networking tool for transitioning veterans to join, and providing a supplemental training and awareness campaign to the current Transition Assistance Program in South Carolina on the effects that isolationism have on a transitioning service member.
To add to our research, our team created a survey to gauge veterans' experiences leaving the military. A few key findings stood out. When asked what the hardest part separating from the military was, a majority of survey respondents claimed the most difficult part of their transition was their missing the brotherhood of military life. Others claimed they missed the sense of purpose being in the military gave them. 68% of respondents indicated they knew a veteran who was having difficulty adjusting to civilian life, and nearly half of the participants claimed to have been contacted by someone with extreme views.
I look back at my time transitioning out of service and what would have been beneficial for me. Also, I am a former violent extremist and a recovered drug addict. So when I put all those things together and I look back at like what would have been beneficial for me transitioning not just out of combat back to garrison, but out of service completely into the civilian side, back to my, my civilian life. I think that having that emotional support group of people who were there for me and that I could be there for would have definitely eased the burden of like the PTSD that I started to experience, the idle time and the isolation that I started to fall into and be susceptible to, as well as, you know, the negative lifestyle and coping tools that I started to use to kind of deal with my trauma and suffering. So, and not to mention building that healthy foundation of your life from this point moving forward is, I mean, like, I don't think there's words to put in to that sentence as to how important that is.
To raise awareness for South Carolina veteran organizations, we at Mission in Transition approached groups across the state to partner with our initiative. In a 2-month outreach campaign, we developed partnerships with 18 independent organizations with 25 locations across South Carolina. Our coalition of partners offers South Carolina veterans with unique and diverse experiences which encourage active lifestyles and promote personal wellness, all contributing to mitigate isolation within veteran populations. Such opportunities include surf and equine therapy, employment and benefits acquisition, higher education, physical fitness and wellness, leadership, and community service. Further, through our community of partners, Mission in Transition is proud to have developed a partnership with retired Major General William Grimsley, the current and first Secretary of Department of Veterans Affairs in South Carolina state history.
So what I find fascinating about your project is we have come to a sort of similar conclusion about the need, and we're working at it from kind of similar approaches, albeit from very different, perspectives. And you all came together as, bright graduate students and came to a similar sort of thing. The beauty of a coalition approach to this is that you can meld the strengths and capabilities of every part of this group, this coalition, to bring them to bear. And the power of the coalition is that where you have a strength and we have a weakness, those two can complement each other.
Mission in Transition's website is based around our core values: providing awareness for veterans, creating a networking portal for veterans, and supplementing the current transitioning assistance program in South Carolina. The site is designed to be easy to use for individuals to locate partnering organizations in South Carolina. We implemented an interactive color-coded map and an interactive calendar showing events and their locations. We also included a Mission in Transition specific news section to show our personal involvement with the community. Our Resources tab is geared specifically towards veteran needs, and our Employment tab provides helpful tools for veterans searching for jobs after their service. Our About page explains who we are and what we're doing with the help and support of our many incredible partners who share our vision. Our LinkedIn page is an extension of our website, more tailored towards the connection and social networking aspect of our values.
Only the funding provided for this project, Mission in Transition has been able to reach a considerable amount of people. As seen here over the past 90 days, Mission in Transition has had a considerable amount of traffic on our website. Additionally, over the past 30 days, there has been an increase in the traffic coming to our website, including from overseas. Scalability is going to be an important part of the continuation of our project. To that end, Mission in Transition has applied for a grant from the Department of Homeland Security, with part of the goal being to expand the states that we are working in and with. Receiving this grant will allow for the continued building and fostering of relationships with local, state, and federal agencies, organizations, and nonprofits, all of which are instrumental in assisting a veteran transition successfully. Additionally, when it comes to scalability, we have already partnered with groups that have national chapters, and there has been interest in helping expand Mission in Transition to the different states that they work in. For a budget of $2,000, Mission in Transition spent 3% on our logo to get a high-quality template that we could use everywhere. We spent approximately 9% on our surveys for our research, and an additional 25% was spent on the website and the tools related to it. Finally, the lion's share, 62%, was spent on marketing and advertising, both physical and digital.
To measure the human impact of Mission in Transition, we created an after-action survey for users of our website to allow for a review of our project and to see how we can improve future operations. All responses indicated a belief that Mission in Transition would be an effective tool for assisting the veteran community, with 75% indicating it would be very effective or extremely effective. Praise for Mission in Transition highlighted its emphasis on the local community and the interactive state map for user use. According to Dr. Fraser Rahim, one of the most important attributes of a counter-radicalization or de-radicalization effort is that it's built into the local context. Based on qualitative feedback from our experts and our after-action survey, it is clear that Mission in Transition does not just meet this qualification, but is outstanding in its efforts.
Mission in Transition has continued to progress subsequent of our project submission. We have started to receive requests from additional veteran organizations active in South Carolina beyond our initial partners. These requests have been unsolicited and are stemming from public awareness generated purely by word of mouth from our excited partners. Also, through our contacts, Mission in Transition is proud to have a future partnership with Parents for Peace, a national nonprofit organization focused on the prevention of violence, extremism, and radicalization.
You have driven this to the point, just doing exactly what you said. You brought together organically an idea centered around something that's bigger than you, and said, well, let's do something to make a difference. Not about a grade, not about an accolade, not about a plaque on a wall, but to do something different for other people.
The more we push, the bigger the snowball gets. They're either going to do one of two things. They're either going to shut us up, or they're going to provide the funding that needs to be provided so that we can go back and not leave fallen comrades.